Awake movement. So excuse me not being in the studio, but you can enjoy trees passing by. It's kind of a cool background, right? I mean, it is what it is. The title of this video is, I believe I typed in my answer to the what do we do now question mark. Because when one wakes up to the non-historicity of the Bible, and rather its allegorical, metaphorical meanings, and then how it's used, its function, how it was created, for what purposes, in what context. When we take this critical approach to the study of the Bible, you realize that it is a construction of human beings, of certain ones, and who might be the chosen people of God. Obviously, the people who wrote the thing. Now, the creation of Christianity out of that original base story of uh, Adam, Noah, Joseph, Moses. You put the new character, Jesus, in that archetype, becoming the new Joseph, the new Moses, the new Adam. So you plug him into fulfilling these prophetic roles. But what this religion did was take out the non-Abrahamic religions, indigenous to the peoples of wherever the Christian faith spread. Get your adherence to Rome, who's the strong arm of the God Yahweh being promoted. Now, the Torah and these Hebrew stories and traditions are the very same base of which, after Christianity, Islam came about. Same God, Yahweh, same stories with Moses. So, we've come to this place where we see that these stories are bunk, these characters are not real. Therefore, since there was no Jesus, there's no Peter receiving the priesthood blessing from Jesus, no first pope anointed by Jesus, by God, no royal kings and queens. That religion has been used to justify their authority. Well, since we've broken out of the matrix, we can see, to challenge their authority, their right to rule over us. So we take the priesthood and the whole papacy, just crumble that. What every church is built upon is this person of Jesus that we have discovered is a fictional character created for perhaps reasons to control the masses. Or at least them having the literal versions and not knowing the truth behind it, which is realizing that much of this is metaphysiological, allegorical, metaphor, astral myth, with the sun, the moon, and the planets, and it's working through the stars, the heavens. And the idea of as below, so above, as above, so below, as without, so within, let it be done on earth as it is in heaven, is a cosmological, metaphysiological ideology that and theology that isn't unique to the tradition of the Hebrew scriptures. We find this motif in the Egyptian faiths and the Sumerian, namely that the gods are planets. In India, the name for Jupiter is Guru, and Mercury, Buddha in the East. And oftentimes, the main character is an amalgamation of these that goes through the 12 constellations of our zodiac. I know I might be repeating this for people, but what my plan is to teach the allegorical metaphoricalness of it, show the historical context of it. And does that mean that we go, or that we have to resort to a life void of meaning and purpose? Does that mean that the realm of consciousness, evolution, and awareness, and health, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, things such as a soul and emotions, do they not exist because we can't measure them from our material science realm? The Aquarian is an answer against the strictly material view of our experience here. That there are perhaps things beyond our physical senses. The Aquarian is open to such things as a spirit and a soul, because the belief in such a thing doesn't have to lead to somebody being more inherently human than another. The Aquarianism is egalitarian in its taking down of the unjust hierarchical systems in play, but it also has to be able to give organization, a characteristic of the Aquarian archetype handed down through the study of astrology. Meaning behind the astronomy is that the Aquarian is able to take complex things and organize them and come up with a solution, an answer to any problem that might arise. They don't want us to organize, and they want to control our religions. So, what I'm doing is using what might look like a religion because it involves community, practicing such things as learning conscious awareness, learning from other mystical spiritual traditions, learning the esoteric meanings behind these things, trying to live a more reflective life, pushing ourselves into perhaps a more virtuous life, ethically, morally inclined to do good rather than evil. But we're not even commanding anyone, because we're going to have a dogmatic stuff except for don't hurt somebody else. That's the one rule. You don't even have to do for somebody else necessarily when asking for. Just don't do bad to somebody else. And when we have our religious scriptures and teachings and theologies and ideologies built on such texts that teach that one person is chosen, saved, closer to God than another speaking for God, then you've messed up the freaking scales of balance, of harmony. Dare we say even truth. We are beautifully different. We celebrate our differences, yet we can still come together in community. And these Abrahamic, brainwashed Bible dupes, literalists, they think that any attempt to reach over religious borders put up by these literal interpretations of these scriptures, of them being historical, is condemned as being an antichrist, new age one world religion that they're trying to usher in. While the whole time, they're just pushing in and already being a part of the new world, one world religion, which is Abrahamism, which is for the worship of the one true God, Yahweh. And that idolaters are to be punished under the Noahide laws. Those who have set up an image into what they worship. So many Christians are not aware that according to Jewish belief, theology, Christians are in fact idol worshippers. And now, in order for Moshiach to come, or when he comes, in preparation for when he comes, the Christian world is to become Noahides. They actually are closer in their theological tenets with Islam than Christianity, because Christianity has the idea of the Trinity, while Islam is more strictly monotheistic. When in reality, in the mystical teachings, esoteric teachings of Judaism, each emanation of God, there's 10 of them, in 10 Sephiroth, and then the void, which is 11. Now, that doesn't sound so monotheistic either. On the first inscription we have provided to us archaeologically is to Yahweh and his consort, Ishtar. And we have the teaching of the Shekinah, Shekinah, which is the female counterpart of Yahweh, who is likened to a serpent. Fiery seraphim guarding the tree of life, our spine. The coiled up serpent in the red root chakra that gets stimulated as we rock back and forth, imitating copulation with Shekinah. They know and use the goddess aspect, energy, idea, form in their theological makeup, and yet they condemn others for being not the true freaking monotheistic. While Brahmanism, which is what Hinduism comes out of, where I believe Brahma and Saraswati are like the one God with the male and the female aspects. God, the creator, Brahma, where I think we get Abraham, and then Sarah to Saraswati. That could just be a coincidence, but interesting. There are things from Hinduism and Buddhism we find in the traditions of Abrahamism, Judeo-Christianity. So what I'm pushing for is a way for us to gather in community, meaningfully, encouraging each other, even having avenues and opportunities for healing, serving the community, for getting together for recreation and fun, to fight against being isolated and turned against each other for BS, to get above the two-party stuck in, rise above the gods who hate us, to resurrect our ancestral heritage with its traditions and gods and goddesses. We'll find a commonality through pretty much them all, is that they're named after and they represent such phenomena as the earth, the elements, the sun, the moon, the planets, and the constellations, the stars. So we can build upon that, which is why what I'm doing with the Aquarian.tv is doing sacred enchanting the world, coming up with the most beautiful way to have a